Hey guys, what's up? Today, I'm reviewing Satisfactory Alpha Weekend. This review was not sponsored nor endorsed by the publisher of the game. Satisfactory is the latest game from the Swedish Coffee Stain studios known for their Goat Simulator and Sanctum games. Satisfactory is an FPS open world factory building sim with multiplayer up to 4 players. You start the game in a dropship and you're dropped to one of the 3 starting positions, albeit in the alpha there is only one to choose from, a lush green plains one. However, you were able to run to the other 2 biomes in the alpha if you so chose. You start by finding iron ore to build your hub, your home base for the remainder of the game. After this you gather more resources to build manufacturing and mining plants to gather more resources to upgrade your hub and to build a space elevator to send up resources to space. Sending up the resources through the space elevators to space will net you with various rewards. The gameplay loop itself is quite simple. Gather resources to craft parts, to craft machines to automate gathering resources, crafting parts and even assembling parts together. On the side you will craft equipment to help you survive the dangers of the alien world, like alien hogs that will try to kill you, while gathering different items from the world to bring back to your analyzer to unlock new recipes and milestones to build in your hub. As this was an alpha test, many of the systems are still work in process, but the foundation is very solid. The first person camera view doesn't work very well when building bigger buildings, and placing the building where you want can be quite difficult. Luckily this problem can be somewhat fixed in the game by building a lookout tower item, which allows you a better view of your surroundings below. But in the beginning, when you don't have access to lookout tower, starting to plan optimal roads for your factories can be quite hard, which means you need to rebuild many things that you built in the beginning to optimize your factory and the routes. The game also wasn't very clear about some very important information, like that you need to manually, by hand, mine bigger rocks off from the resource nodes so you can place automated miners into them. In the beginning of the game, you're arbitrarily capped by the energy you can produce to keep your machines running. This means that in the starting point, unless you're willing to do crafting manually and want to leave it to the manufacturing plant, you will be waiting, and quite a lot. However, this is also a good opportunity to roam around and explore the world. For me personally though, the building aspect was much more important, so I ended up waiting now and then for a few minutes, perfect time to make a sandwich and a cup of tea though. The game allows you to see what ingredients you need by adding buildings or items to your to-do list, which shows how much of a certain ingredient you need to build a part and how much of that certain ingredient you have currently in your inventory. The game is played online. All the game sessions are online, where you can make either a private online session or a public online session. You can save at any time as you want, and the game auto-saves often. Controlling the character feels light and very responsive. The planet has a lower gravity, which makes sleeping around fun and in many cases preferred way of travel. The game settings in the alpha build have settings for gameplay, audio, video and controls. The graphic options are pretty basic, with toggle for exclusive full screen and borderless, toggle for VSync and different settings for settings like texture quality and post-processing, which simply go from low to ultra. Field of view is also adjustable, which is always a welcome option. As I don't have an ultra-wide screen monitor, it's hard to say if it supports those resolutions, but 16:10 and 16:9 resolutions were both supported. The control options allow toggle for sprint and full rebinding of key bindings. The gameplay settings also have an arachnophobia mode toggle, which I have no idea what it does, but I guess it eases the pain for those who suffer from arachnophobia. The language options are under gameplay options, and the game supports staggering 17 or 18 if you count traditional and simplified Chinese as separate languages. In the alpha build, however, changing languages didn't work. The alpha performance was mostly very stable, 60 frames per second at 1440p. Had some very high frame time spikes though now and then, which caused stuttering, and sometimes the frame rate would drop to 50s. The GPU usage in home base shown on the video was around 78 to 80% on my 2080 Founders Edition, and VRAM usage was around 5 GB. The game installation size is around 18 GB. Satisfactory launches on early access on March 19th exclusively on Epic Game Stores with price starting at $29.99 both USD and Euros to $40 USD and Euros depending on your preferred payment method. I played the game for around 5 hours and reached the space elevator milestone. Satisfactory was all in all a very satisfying game, pun intended, in many aspects, but it depends solely on the hook of building factories and for the player to enjoy that. If you like more story-based games, then Satisfactory isn't for you. The game is solely focused on building a factory like Factorio. The game also needs a lot of work, which is why it's launching in early access mode. Would I recommend this game? At this point, not at this price if you're not willing to wait for all the improvements that are surely coming. The foundation is very stable and this can grow into being an amazing game given another year of development. What I liked? Building a factory in first person in a stunning world. Loads of different building and options to build structures for the automation. What was neutral was the time gating in the beginning with energy nodes. What I disliked was that the menu music is loud. Energy gathering in the beginning is very tedious and seems to be there just to mask the waiting times for your starting factory to manufacture the components necessary to reach next milestone. If you like this review, please leave a comment below to know how we can improve our reviews. Thanks and until next time, bye.